and welcome to Live Your Someday Now. I'm Diane.
And I'm Brian.
We sold our home 10 months ago and most of our stuff.
We ordered a dumpster to get the clearing out of the house moving.
And packed it into a 33-foot motorhome.
We finally got the house cleared out, listed, staged, sold, and all that.
And hit the road.
With our 3 kids and 2 dogs.
He's so pretty. On the road again.
I can't wait to be on the road again.
After years of talking about someday wanting to travel around the country with our kids, we started to realize that they were getting older and someday was never going to come unless we started something now. We found we kept getting more and more bogged down with stuff in the traditional way of thinking of what our lives should look like. You know, 9-to-5 job, house, staying in one place.
And then in 2017, we finally changed our mindset and started taking those steps towards living our someday.
Making music with my friends. I can't wait to be on the road again.
Okay, I think they're waiting for us.
Oh yeah, they're waiting for us. Okay.
Let's go, Carmel!
And here we are.
We're doing it.
So we've spent the past 10 months traveling all over this country, back and forth. In the past 10 months, we've traveled over 15,000 miles.
We started here. That's where we started.
We are going to go 1,000 miles in 2 days.
It's a lot of miles.
It's a lot of gallons of gas. How many gallons of gas? We figured this out.
Yeah, it was almost 2,000 gallons for the RV,
Yes.
for the motorhome, and then about over 500 gallons for the car.
Yes.
Because we drive it separately, we don't tow.
We're headed on an epic coast-to-coast journey.
Gas prices ranged anywhere from around $2 to over $4 out in California. So it varied, but
That's a big chunk of the budget.
it is.
2,800 miles in 5 days. It's been fun.
Now, as far as where we stayed at 4 national parks.
We're at Pinnacles National Park. Woohoo!
And 14 state parks. We love the state parks. We try to hit them whenever we can.
Yeah, the
If
state
they're-
and national parks are our place to go.
And then we're gonna do the blue one.
Then we're gonna go straight
we're
this
gonna
way
go up.
and get this one.
I was surprised by how quickly we settled into full-time RV life because we always loved traveling, but it was still a really big change and a really different way of life. Once we got on the road though, we really got into the rhythm of things a lot quicker than I expected. And now I think that we all, I know I do, get antsy if we're in one place too long because we're always moving. We're always trying new things and seeing new things.
We stayed at 5 KOAs.
Yeah, a
And
Yogi
we-
Bear campground.
A Yogi Bear, yeah, we remember those from when I
Yeah,
was a kid
'cause-
and was camping. Yogi Bear was like a big thing, especially on the East Coast. So we stayed at one of those in Indiana.
Yep.
That was really nice.
We stayed at one Harvest Host. We just joined the Harvest Host program in late fall, so we stayed at one Harvest Host, which was a beautiful bed and breakfast in Tennessee. So we're super excited about where we're staying tonight to RV camp. We joined a program called Harvest Host.
That was nice.
Yes, we stayed at one Boondocker's Welcome up in Pennsylvania near our hometown. That was great. That was a beautiful spot.
So we are headed out of our Boondocker's Welcome stay with Tim and Dot. It was really nice here. It was in the woods, up on the mountain a little bit.
But we had to move a little early because it was gonna snow. Is it sleeting?
Yeah. Sleeting. Sleeting.
And there have been some overnights along the way where we do free camping.
Yep. So here we are in our camping spot. It's nice. See that? Look at that.
Look, we have trees though.
We do. We have trees. It's tree lined.
There have been, I think, 4 Walmarts.
So we woke up this morning to a lot of noise and we looked at the window and they're setting up, we can't really tell what, they have like mowers and dumpsters, but pretty soon we're gonna be blocked in.
At least 4 Walmarts.
At least 4 Walmarts.
We're at the Walmart RV Resort, just north of Jacksonville. It's pretty nice. They got a nice little tree area over here. There's a lot of campers. There's probably like 12 campers here. It's like a community of of RVers, right?
So yeah, we found
We're at a Walmart parking lot.
There's been a Cabela's or two, a Bass Pro Shops.
Brian mentioned planning before we started the trip. We did do planning as far as getting the house ready to sell, selling the house, and basics of how we were going to survive full-time living in an RV with the kids and the dogs. We did not do a lot of planning of where we were going.
Because we really didn't know what we were doing. We've been camping together for our whole marriage, and I camped when I was younger too. So we kind of had the camping thing down.
Yeah.
But planning to live your entire life between stays
Yeah, place
was
to place.
a learning experience for us.
So our basic planning in the beginning was go to visit friends and family, which was fantastic. There was 7 different states that we went, and we saw friends from either, well, yours were from like your childhood, like your oldest friend from when you were like little. And I had a best friend from middle school that we visited, and friends from college. Brian visited some of his friends from when he was first injured. One was a mentor out in California, and another one a good buddy of his in Kentucky who we hadn't seen in a while.
All right, so we're headed to my good friend Paul's house. We're going to visit with him and his wife Barb. He lives near Shelbyville, Kentucky. Hey, I need your street address.
We might need that to get to your house.
So we'll see you unless we get lost, because Jared's driving, so we could end up anywhere. We're gonna help him out with some of the yard work and stuff around his house, because he uses a wheelchair like I do, and his wife had knee surgery, so there's tons of yard work. It's springtime, that's what that's all about, yard work.
So that has been just such a fun aspect of the full-time RVing, which we planned to visit those people. I just didn't realize just how much we would really enjoy it, and quite a few of those people we plan to visit again this year.
Right.
One of my favorite things of full-time being so far is getting to like see so many people that we wouldn't have been able to see. So like not only meet new people, but see friends and family that we wouldn't have seen. And also one thing that I learned was, I already knew it some, but it was like, now I just like recognize it even more how different the US can be in different parts of it. So like California is so different from Florida, and like the people, the landscape, like everything's so different.
One of the biggest changes to us personally after this trip, which I guess we could have expected that we would learn to get out of our comfort zone more, because we were getting out of our comfort zone just to, hey, let's sell the house and all our things and go live in an RV for an undetermined amount of time. So
It's a big change.
That was stepping out of our comfort zone, but just all the little things too, like going kayaking. In the ocean, no less.
Yeah, going into different areas and not knowing really anybody, or not knowing what's around the areas and getting familiar with them, doing things you wouldn't normally do, like you mentioned, kayaking, going swimming out in the ocean.
Going
whatever.
swimming in the springs in Florida where there was an alligator found the week before, and there's alligators nearby. Going hiking places we never would have gone hiking, and mountain biking in Colorado on just mountains and huge, you know, cliffs or whatever you want to call them. So we've really grown, and I know the kids have grown, just to like step out of our comfort zone more, which I think will help us with everything in life.
Right. And for me, being disabled, using a wheelchair, there's a lot more things to do, more obstacles to overcome. You know, if you want to go hiking on the trail, you find a way to do it. You get help from the family to get you over the roots and the rocks.
We ran into our first hard silence. It's a big log in the middle of the path.
Or we get you on the paddle boat or in the kayak, or
Yep, that was a stretch, because I hadn't been kayaking or in a canoe since I've been disabled, and I've been in several times now, and it worked great. That was awesome on a lot of different levels. I think it would be fun for anybody to go kayaking through those mangrove tunnels and up on the ocean. It's really awesome. But for me, whenever I can do something I feel like maybe I couldn't have done because of my disability, and I go do it, I just feel so good about having tried it and overcome the obstacle.
one of the biggest takeaways for me was that old phrase of don't worry, be happy, and dealing with stress. because there can be a lot of stress going on the road. And I know we taped 2 videos in the beginning, right? Before we even started RVing, that was like our fears.
Yeah, what our top concerns were going into it.
You know, most of those were pointless fears. And after being through some of the things we've been through.
I woke up to an electrical problem today.
So there's a cat in our engine.
We stress a lot less over a lot less things than we did 10 months ago.
Because one thing you learn when you're full-time RVing is to be flexible, because there's so many, you're moving to a new place every so often, week or 2 weeks, whatever. Things go wrong with the motorhome, with the car.
My cousin brought us back over to the car here, and we tried jump starting it with her car. It's got plenty of power. It's not that. We think it's the anti-theft system. You just learn to go with it, because in these first 10 months, Jared had his bike crash, and we ended up trying to find an ER and a dentist in the middle of nowhere, California. The fridge keeps having problems on the RV. We had a blown tire after a 2,500-mile journey cross country.
We've had to replace the car. We had to actually get a whole new car.
Yeah, we actually had to get a whole new car because it kept stalling all different places that we went.
29.5 miles to the gallon.
Jared's impressed by the gas mileage on the new car. So there's been like multiple things, and we've learned to just be like, it's okay, it'll work out. We have faith that it has always worked out. The same with trying to find reservations places. We now go pretty much almost everywhere without reservations.
Yeah,
it's like,
and it always works out. We always find somewhere to stay. There's plenty of options.
A week or 2 in advance, maybe we find something. And there's days we hit out on the road and we don't know where we're staying that night.
And one of the biggest takeaways we have from our season 1 of full-time RV living is just the amazing things that we've seen, the places that we've gone, and the memories that we've made at those places. It's just been spectacular. The
amazing experiences and how it has made this country so much smaller, so much more accessible to us. And now we feel for those people when there's a wildfire or a hurricane. You get put in their home, in their position, you know, the place where they are living.
Towards the end of it, you got to be real careful because we're driving right by the Redding fire, which is one of the hugest fires that California's ever had.
And learned so many things. I mean, for all those years, I was just familiar with Pennsylvania. I lived in North Carolina for 5 years and down to Florida all the time. So we were real familiar with the East Coast, but not out west. And now we read news stories and it's like, oh yeah, we were there.
Yeah, or you see an ad that shows this, like, you know, beautiful scenery in the mountains of Colorado or something. We're like, hey, we were there. And if we see something we weren't there, we're like, hey, we can go there. Let's plan it, and we're gonna go there.
So one of the things that's really made an impression on me while full-time being is I love guitar and mountain biking. And get to do it. I get to do it now in so many different places. So I'm in the mountains of Colorado, in the Everglades of Florida, in California where it's really hot. It wasn't the most fun, and I get to do it all these cool places that otherwise I would have gotten to do it in the house, and in the house. So it's really neat. I get to like watch a sunrise, play guitar, or go mountain biking by like some beautiful mountains in Colorado, and it's mountain biking, so by the mountains is nice, and it's really neat to see all the new places and do things I love to do.
We are so glad that we finally changed our mindset, overcame our fears and the obstacles, and started living our someday. We hope that you'll subscribe to our channel and that we can help you in some way start living your someday.
Yeah, we want you to take that first step toward your someday and not wait for it, because that's what we did. We stopped waiting, we took that step, and we couldn't be happier. So that's what we want for everyone else as well.
So let us know. Share your comments down below. What's your someday? What are your dreams? What do you want to get started now? And what are those first steps that you're going to start taking to live your someday now?
Oh my gosh!
Great, now I have that song in my mind.
Yep, you're welcome. Sorry.
You know the one?
Nope,
Yeah,
nope, don't know it. Okay. Last thing,
here's a little song I wrote. You know which one I'm talking about?
Nope.